Maureen Selene's book, she talks about this. One of the three yeses of healthy romantic love is that you choose your partner exactly as they are. If he never changes, are you down? Never. What if he never ever grows or changes one bit ever? And there are many of us who, in less than ideal partnerships, would still, on a deep knowing level, say, yeah, I'm here for it. I choose this person, the personhood of this being. I choose you. If you're staying, because otherwise, pull your big girl panties up and leave. Actually do that. Liberate this person and liberate yourself. But if what you want is like a passionate relationship with a man who is different from you, and you want to have the feeling as a woman of what it is to be led and guided and held in safety and contained, and you want to be the muse to this artist. I recently interviewed Kimmy Inch for the podcast, and she talked about Dom and Sub that way. The Dom is the one in charge of the creation, whatever's unfolding, and the Sub is the muse, right? So if that appeals to you, that experience of co-creation, to me, it's got to be what I came here for. If that appeals to you, then it's not complicated what needs to happen. The leap of faith, which is, I am going to trust this man to come into proper orientation towards me when I get my shit straight. And you're not going to micromanage that process. You're not going to check in and ask on the status of how things are going. You are the one who decides how the relationship is going to go. That's what I believe. That you have this power. I always thought that it was the couple, right? And I was like trying to drag my partners into couples therapy and find the right person. And I remember my coach, Whitney, she would say, it's just you. Let's just start with you. And that felt unfair. It was like, I'm the one who's experiencing the dissatisfaction, and I'm the one who's doing all this work. And as we do as women, which is in many ways a extension of some sort of self-rejection on a very fundamental level. And now you're saying I'm the one who's responsible for saving the relationship. Like, this is too much. I want to do it together. I get that. And what I am seeing, again, especially through Laura Doyle's work, is that no, he actually doesn't have to do anything. Because if you chose the right partner for you, which you probably did, right, on some level, unless it's clear that you should leave, then you have all of the power to bring it into its organized polarity, and he will naturally and natively come into that role. Men actually don't need to be taught how to be men. We need to get out of the way. And there's a good reason that we're in the freaking way. So when we are ready to get out of the way, and when we are ready to feed them the feminine energy, which is basically respect and admiration and appreciation, trust, and then maybe creative energy, play, when we can feed them that, and when we focus on ourselves. That's the permission slip I've been given for years, is focus on yourself. Your self-care, what's interesting to you, what color are you going to paint your nails, what are you going to have for breakfast, what interesting thing are you going to look at or read or research. Focus on you. Stay in your lane. Those two things happen, your relationship will change. And he does not need to be interested in self-growth. In fact, I actually have started to wonder if it's part of what I'm now seeing as the new age psyop, that we have been encouraging men to get into self-exploration and take all these courses and go talk to all these therapists and do all these ceremonies. And probably, I have no idea, but probably what men need is just to be around other men, moving their bodies, figuring out how to be in their bodies. And they need to be around women that make them bigger. And then everything's going to work out. And what we need as women is to find safety within ourselves. And that's the hardest work. It's the hardest work. And not like we should feel okay being an island unto ourselves, but we learn to trust our own navigation. our own internal navigation, our own compass, our own decisions, and to know that if we choose to stay, it's actually right. We are safe then. And if we choose to go, that's actually best. That like the inner husband is trustworthy and reliable, and that he follows through and his word means something. When that comes online, you have a capacity to be with your own emotions without needing your partner to grow them or change them or fix them. And you just exit that dysfunctional way of relating. I know that it takes a huge leap, and it almost feels, it's like when people criticize me publicly and say that I victim shame. It almost feels like salt in the wound. It almost feels like it's only going to get worse if I reflect to him that he's okay or that he's doing anything right. He's going to get the wrong impression and he's going to stop trying. That's just not how it works. People thrive when they are seen for their best intentions, and people thrive when they are respected and trusted and appreciated. And if you want to try the experiment, which she advises you don't let him know you're doing, you'll know pretty quickly. I have one close girlfriend of mine. She's said that she'll come on my podcast and talk about her outcomes, who's been in a marriage. She's hyper brilliant. She's a collaborator of mine and a friend. Brilliant. One of the most, if not the most competent women I know. A lot of strong masculine traits. And she's got a great husband. And she read this book and it changed her life from everything I could tell. She put some of these practices, like basically shutting the fuck up. Okay. That's like the number one practice she put into place when she saw that she could tell him how to do something a little better, or what time to do this, or did he do that yet? All of that, duct tape. She just shut up and stopped doing that. And a couple of other things to basically express positive reinforcement around the things that he was doing that she appreciated, right? Like showing appreciation and reflecting what it is that he actually was doing. So he has these wins. Omer Pani calls it like the green light, red light. So that men have a green light and they have a red light, and you're either turning one on or you're turning the other on. It's really that simple. And it completely changed their sex life. It changed their dynamic in the household, changed their dynamic as parents. So at the risk of sounding like I am her unpaid marketing team, I think there's something to it. And also, I like the overlap of all of these different teachers and teachings. But suffice it to say, there is a leap. And the leap is, it's a leap of faith. And the leap is, it could get way worse. I could feel really vulnerable. I could feel like I'm actually reinforcing and approving of that which I know is wrong and not working. Or it could get way better. So you got to just take that risk.